you mentioned writing from other people's experiences. Do you have to do that sometimes just to take a break from the rawness of your own life?
I think what happens for me, honestly, if I'm being completely transparent, I think I just get writer's block. Like, I
Yeah.
think when things are going well or when things are terribly hard, I mean, usually when things are terribly hard, I'm like a wellspring, and
Yeah.
it's therapeutic for me to just get that stuff out. But when things are good, or I'm busy, or I'm making a record, I just kind of shut that part of my brain off. I'm not thinking creatively. I'm not trying to think about, I don't look at writing as a job. I don't sit down and go, I need to go write today. One thing that helped me get more into that headspace, and that broke me out of the writing from personal experience, was joining a little songwriter club with some of my fellow musicians. And we had a prompt every Thursday morning, and we had to turn in a song that we wrote completely alone by Wednesday night at midnight.
Wow.
And I was in that for a long time. uh you get kicked out if you miss, without, you get one pass a year. And I had already used my pass, and then I ended up in an emergency room in Kansas City on the road at some point, and I missed turning my song in. I got kicked out. So it's ruthless. Like, they don't, medical problems be damned. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're out. And I actually welcomed the break because I had been in it for so long. But that being said, it was such a cool way to spark creativity. Just saying the word waves.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, got a song. I mean, I can pinpoint some of the best songs that I've written were out of that forced creativity. So This Is Life came from a songwriting prompt. Casualty, I'm really proud of that, from Electrostatic. That came from the word waves. That
Wow.
was in that songwriting group. Seven of the 10 songs on Electrostatic came from that songwriting group. So that has been a really big help in getting me outside of my own self and thinking a little more creatively. And there's still truths in a lot of those songs, but sometimes it was just the making me think about whatever I was feeling or whatever I wanted to write in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Those words or those little short phrases helped so
Well,
much,
it's getting out of your comfort zone, right? Just even if it's
correct,
for just a
yeah,
little while, like just
right,
because like a lot of times I feel like co-writing is so important to people because of a couple of reasons, but like the two that really come to mind are validation, right? Especially if you feel like you can trust the other people in the room, like
sure,
they're gonna tell you, no, Courtney, that sucks, like what are you doing, like
right,
like that validation is important in a co-writing atmosphere. And then the other thing is I mean, different perspectives, right? Everybody's living a different experience. But
right.
how do you feel like those exercises, those solo writing exercises, has helped you in a co-writing sense? Like, in other words, you do those exercises. I imagine you're getting better as a writer, and then that's going to form, kind of shore up how you are as a co-writer too, right?
I don't co-write much, and I wish I did. And it's not, I think I just don't initiate it. And it's not that I don't want to. There's a part of me that's scared. I've only written in a room with another writer maybe two or three
Is
times
that
in
your
my
that
entire,
imposter syndrome that you were talking about earlier?
probably.
Yeah.
And I feel like my process, I feel like I throw out really cheap and silly lines when I'm trying to make something make sense, and I
Right.
think I get embarrassed. Like, trust is a huge thing, and I,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
feel like I don't know that I trust myself enough to be smart enough to add anything, and that's my own insecurities, and I need to work on that. But uh I had a couple co-writes on this last record. Jason, of course, I wrote in the room with him because we lived together. And then Kelly McQuee, we did that by text, and Adam Hood and Brent Cobb as well.
Yeah.
Brent and I wrote by Zoom, and he's just such a pro at it. And he and Adam both, they write for a living, and so they have publishing deals, and they literally do that for a job, and so they're really really good at it, and they've had a lot of practice. And Adam's so encouraging. He's like, you just got to keep doing it. Like, you just got to get comfortable with it, till you don't think about it anymore. And so I still think about it a lot.
Yeah.
But I would like to, in this season, try to get in a room physically with a person, and it probably does need to be someone that I know, or maybe it needs to be somebody I don't know at all, so that I don't care if I
Yeah.
make an ass of myself.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I feel like it's twofold, right? Like, number one, you're going to have that
Right,
imposter syndrome where,
Uh-huh.
Your inner voice is always going to tell you you're not good enough for this room, especially, if the other songwriters in the room are professionals and they've had
Right.
success with it, like, and you're just going to be like, yo, I don't belong here, right? And then the
Right.
other thing is, just worried about your own ideas, right? Like,
Yeah.
how vocal can I be? Do I trust this person to not laugh? And those
Right.
kind of things, and bringing that kind of stuff to the table. So, like, yeah, I can imagine it's a tough experience. And then, the other thing I was going to say is, your songs are like your kids, right? So, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to share that with another person sometimes, right? You're not going to
Right.
let somebody just take your daughter, some stranger take your daughter to Sonic in his car, and
Right.
like, you're going to feel some kind of way about that. And I imagine it's the same way with your songs. Like, you're probably really
Yeah,
guarded
and
with
I
them.
think you have to get comfortable. Jamie always says it. I know it's from something else. You have to kill your darlings. Like you have to be okay letting lines go,
Mm-hmm.
rewording things, and I get so locked into this is the truth. So I wrote it and I
Mm-hmm.
made it rhyme. That if something needs to be sang, like on one example that I think about every time I sing it, I wrote a song about my late sister called 14 Years, several years back. Well, several years back. And I say the purple, talking about a candle. And I said, the purple one I gave you. It was a purple candle that did not sing well. Like I should have said a color that sang better than purple. Purple doesn't, it just doesn't sing well. And it's hard to say. And I almost feel my mouth get jumbled when I say it. And it's because I couldn't let go of the fact that that was the truth,
Yes.
and I wish now I could have been like, hey, it's fine. James Taylor has this song called um Enough to Be on Your Way, and it's about his late brother, but he made her a female in the song. And his brother's name was Alex. He named this woman Alice. And so there's partial truths, and it's still about his brother, but as a listener, you don't really know because that's not how he sang it and performed it. And so I know at the heart that that's who he was thinking about, but he was able to do it in a way that still kept it like private,
Yeah.
And
I
I
wonder if
don't,
he did that because he was trying to distance himself from the truth when he's
right.
performing these songs, right? Because again,
Sure.
they're so
It's
raw.
painful,
Yeah,
right? To go
absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.